It is 2-Minute Tuesday, and today we're covering something that's actually super important, especially if you're just starting out modifying and working on your own car, and that is how to properly and most importantly safely jack up your car. Now this might seem like common knowledge to most car enthusiasts, but keep in mind we all started somewhere and not everyone had somebody to teach them this sort of stuff, which is exactly why I make these videos, to show you that you can work on your own car just like I do, no matter your experience. I have seen a ton of videos online of people improperly jacking up their car, whether it's using the wrong jack point or not taking the proper safety precautions. And while most of those videos end up pretty harmlessly, that's not always the case. If you're working underneath your car, the worst thing that you could have happen is it come crashing down unexpectedly. That is not something that I want to have happen to any of you. So please, if you're working underneath your car, make sure to use jack stands and not just rely on the jack itself. I do owe you guys a giveaway winner from the Alpha Rex trunk light video, so congratulations to Scrubs Media 24. You are the winner of the wheel end table. If this happens to be you, please reach out to me either on Instagram or send me an email to info@driven.media so I can get your info and get that sent out to you. Thank you to everyone who participated. If you didn't win this time around, don't worry, there will be more giveaways in the future. Now, back to the video. So this is what you need to jack up your car. You want a high quality jack. There's a bunch of different jacks out there for a variety of different applications. This is just a small 1.5 ton jack that I keep laying around the shop for various things. But if I am lifting the whole car, I will usually use a low profile 3-ton jack because, as the name suggests, it has a lower profile, so it's more easily able to get underneath cars with lower ground clearance like the GR86. And I'll leave links to everything that I'm talking about down in the description if you're interested. Now, obviously, you're gonna be using the jack to lift the car up in the air, but this is where a lot of people make the mistake of only using the jack itself, when what you should be doing is raising the car with the jack and then setting it down on a set of jack stands before you get underneath the car and work on it. So make sure to get a set of jack stands. There's a lot of different jack stands out there as well. So get it from a reputable company and make sure that the weight rating is correct. If you're just lifting up one end or one side of the car, you're just gonna need 2. And if you need all 4 wheels off the ground, you need a set of 4. Another thing that I would recommend getting alongside your jack stands are some rubber pinch weld pads. These are gonna help prevent the metal from the jack stand from marring and possibly bending your pinch welds after continuous use. They literally sit on top of your jack stand like so and act as a protective barrier. You can get the same type of thing for the pad on your jack so that you're not scratching up the underside of your car, or what you can also do is just toss a microfiber towel on here so it's not directly metal on metal. If you happen to have a really low car, maybe you have an aggressive front lip or side skirts and you can't get the jack fully underneath the car to the jacking points, you're gonna need to pick up some ramps that are gonna raise the car up and give you the clearance you need. Or in a pinch, you can use some 2x4s that you might have laying around. Now let's go over another important element, which is where the jacking points are on these cars. Keep in mind that most modern day cars nowadays have jacking points in the areas that I'm gonna show you, but it does vary. So make sure to double check your owner's manual before you go off using random spots underneath your car. We're gonna go through 6 different jacking locations. There's one in the front, one in the rear, and then 2 on both sides of the car on the pinch welds. If you are lifting your entire car up in the air, you will usually want to start in the front of the car, so make sure your car is in park or you have the parking brake on, and then chock the rear wheels so it doesn't roll back on you. For the GR86, in the front, you're gonna be looking for a little hump on the cross beam that's located directly underneath your radiator. You can see there's 2 small holes right here that are in the middle of the 2 larger holes, and this is where you want to place the jack. For the WX, it's a little further back on the cross member that is located where the transmission meets the engine. Once you have the front of the car lifted up high enough, slide the jack stands into place on those pinch welds and then lower it down onto the jack stands, and then we'll move to the rear. For the back of the car, we are gonna be using the rear diff. Now you do want to be a bit careful because you don't want to put a bunch of pressure on the cover of the diff. You want to lift it using the housing itself. For the GR86, there's a couple tabs on the housing, and that is where you want to put the jack. Again, once you have the rear end of the car high enough, slide the jacks into place and lower the car onto these stands. If you are lifting just one side of the car, you can utilize the pinch welds to lift the car up and then slide the jacks into place and lower the car onto the stands, and that's it. Let's also talk about the scissor jacks that are stored in the trunks of a lot of cars. These newer cars don't seem to come with them nowadays because the manufacturers have opted for a fix-a-flat type kit instead, but I think they're a good idea to have, as well as obviously a spare tire to change out too. Now, the important thing to note about these scissor jacks is that they are only intended to lift the car high enough to get one wheel off the ground so that you can swap out to the spare. So you don't want to be using these to work underneath the car because the higher up they go, the more unstable they are. So just use them for emergencies to swap out to the spare. While I still have the car up in the air, let's talk about the plugs that I mentioned in the last 2 Minute Tuesday that I found in my trunk that the dealer forgot to install. If you take a look underneath your car near the pinch welds in the rear, you should have a hole right here. There's a hole on each side. These are used to tie the car down during shipping, and the dealer is supposed to install plugs once the car is delivered. However, a lot of people are finding out that their dealer never installed the plugs. So take a look in your glove box, your center console, or your trunk for a plastic bag with 2 of these rubber plugs and install them into these holes if they're not already installed so that water and critters don't get up all in your car. So we're gonna take this and just pop it into place. The Subaru text goes up towards the top of the car. So now there should be a little dimple right there. And I already have the other one installed on the other side. Now you guys know how to properly and safely jack up your car to work on it. I will leave links to the jack and jack stands that I use down in the description. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, comment down below. I am always happy to help. But that is gonna do it for this week's 2 Minute Tuesday. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh my God, my knees, bro. Another thing that I would recommend getting alongside your, what are these? Jack stands, yes. Let's also talk about the scissor jacks that are stored in the trunk of a lot of cars. People make the mistake of just using the jack itself, where what you should do, where what?